Today we have Taylor Roberts on Zoom. Taylor, can you hear me okay, bud?
I can hear you just fine, brother.
Now, how did you find out about our Unsigned band review? I mean, it's, you're from Detroit. You're probably not too familiar with the show, being all the way in Detroit, and so somebody probably heard what we're doing and maybe got it back to you.
Yeah, so Carlos, your parody guy, is
Carlos
the one
Fandingo.
Okay.
who hooked it. And fun fact, I'm actually from Gulfport, Mississippi. I just happen to reside in Detroit these days.
Now, why would a guy like you? Because Gulfport, Mississippi is pretty cool. I mean, hold on, bro.
No one's ever said one good thing about Mississippi.
No, but hold on. Gulfport, Mississippi's gotta be better than Detroit.
No way.
No. I don't get me wrong. All the love to my hometown, but the amount of music. It doesn't matter on genre or there's so much more music here. I've seen so many more shows that I could have never seen back home. I'm in the Bible Belt, you know what I'm saying?
I kind of understand, like being a rock guy, I can understand where Gulfport would really be crappy, and the fact that, I don't know how far you have to travel to the nearest large arena to catch.
You got to pass 8 anti-abortion rallies just to get to the music venue.
And that's the whole point. You got to make it through the religious protesters. You got to make it through all the little hoops, and then when you do get a big rock band down there, they generally tend to get banned. Like, I remember Slipknot came to the Coast Coliseum, instant ban, just like
and Slipknot rock. I mean, they rule. I mean, they are awesome, and so they're banned. Kind of like the way they did Jim Morrison back in the day. Just completely treat you like the devil if you play any type of. Now, Tampa supposedly is like the metal capital of the world, or I don't know if you knew that or not, but aren't we the hard metal capital of the world, Tampa?
We were at one point. Yeah, let me see if we still are.
I think we are.
Who gave us that name? Because I never heard of
Jane
that.
Castor did.
No, I don't know who gave us that word.
Who's that big metal band that broke from here?
I don't know. I think there's the big metal. One of the biggest metal bands now is from Tampa.
Yes, Tampa is unofficially known as the capital of death metal.
Death metal. Oh. Now,
Yeah,
Taylor.
I can see that.
Taylor, you're in rock. What's the difference between rock, metal, and death metal? Like, what's the difference?
I would say rock is you're angry, you're sad. Metal is more double bass, more screaming, and then death metal, we're praising Satan all day long.
Now, is death metal like the Cookie Monster stuff, like the?
Yeah, oh yeah, and with all the evil that you can imagine.
Right, like you just want to kill everybody. Everybody sucks. Cut your head off. I love the devil. Goat 666. All that kind of stuff.
It reminds me of an interview I just saw with Gorgoth's frontman, and the guy was like, "So what inspires your music?" And then he's just there shrouded by darkness, and he takes a 10-second pause, and then he just goes, "Satan," and then that's it. That's all he says. His music is influenced by it. It's I don't know.
So Taylor, when did you make the trek from sleepy Gulfport, Mississippi to Detroit, and then how did you get hooked up with your current guys?
So, I started that journey at the end of 2018, and I eventually landed in Detroit in 2019. And I basically moved here to be next to Dave Coughlin, who is one of my best friends. And he's the one who wrote the drums with me on the first record. He's not actually in the band. He's the drummer of Sponge now, Detroit legendary band. And I actually met him when my old band went on tour with Taproot in 2013, and Dave was their touring drummer. We linked up, and we were like, "Hey, I like you. We like each other." And then we started playing Call of Duty pretty much every day for the last 12 years. And in 2018, I was like, "Hey, man, I'm moving to Detroit, and we're gonna make a record." And he was like, "Yeah, whatever, kid." And then I showed up.
Now, where's Dave reside?
He's in Detroit as well. He's more suburbs these days. He just bought a new house. I'm not too sure on the area, but he's like 45-ish minutes.
I mean, can you make a good living as Dave, being the lead drummer on Sponge and it being a legendary rock drummer? That's floated around a little bit. Can you make a pretty good living doing that?
I mean, every time I see him on tour, he looks like he's eating well and he's paying his rent. So or paying his mortgage. I'm sorry.
Right.
He's graduated from rent. He's on the mortgage stage.
Yeah,
so he's doing good.
So what are we going to listen to today? By the way, the band is called Riding with Killer.
Wait, I got to know how his hernia's doing.
Oh, I didn't know about it. How did you know that he had a hernia?
I know everything about these bands, man.
Googling first.
So Taylor, did you blow out your gut? What's going on here?
It's not the song that we're gonna play, but I'm very new as a vocalist. I mean, I've been a guitar player my whole life, and when I started this band, I had broken away from my old situation. I had some issues with my old singer in terms of copywriting music, losing songwriters credits, this, that, and the other.
And by the way, for those scoring at home, that can be not a significant, but it can be a decent amount where it's worth being mad about not getting the proper publishing
that's where all the money is, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Licensing rights,
touring and publishing.
Some guy takes it when it should be yours. It's a difference between him getting a monthly check and you're not getting a monthly check.
Oh, for sure. And so basically, I was like, well, I'm going to be the singer now. I'm going to do this. And I was very new into the singing world of being a lead vocalist. And as I was tracking our song Hostility, there's a really high part. And I had never sang that high before in my career. I had never pushed that way. So just because of improper breathing techniques, I caused myself an inguinal hernia. Which was the worst thing that I think I've ever dealt with.
So your hernia was caused by the fact that you were pushing your diaphragm and pushing stuff harder than it needed to be. So it actually did a hernia type internal damage just because you were pushing it too hard. It didn't know like, what about a guy like Brian Johnson from AC/DC, where he just gets that guttural sound.
His intestines fall out every show.
Yes, or like a Jesse Dupree from Jackal, or have they had to over the years learn how to get that type of guttural type of sound?
Oh yeah, well, I mean it's kind of like that. That's why Melissa Cross has her job and is widely regarded as one of the best metal screaming and aggressive vocal coaches there is. And most of the guys that you're listening to that are doing extreme and heavy vocals have probably gone to Melissa. I mean, your voice is an instrument, and if you don't learn how to breathe properly, and it's going to sound funny, but lubricate your vocal cords properly, or taking care, it's you have to have a regimen, if you want to sing like that night in and night out. I mean, it takes a lot of air, a lot of power, and a lot of technique, and that's why
I talk 25 hours a week, and I got honey and olive oil that I will sometimes take a nip off of, because I talk so much and use my voice so much. I have been for 40 years. So, I mean, people think that, just being a rock singer or being a musician in itself, or a lead singer, that they don't realize you are pushing your voice in a manner that it's not used to. And there's really a lot of, in your case with the Melissa girl, coaching and somewhat maintenance, or preventative maintenance, or ongoing maintenance with your voice. A lot of people would be like, like when Axl Rose would cancel a concert because he lost his voice, you could see, people like, oh, Axl Rose is a pussy, whatever. He probably was a prima donna to an extent, but I mean, that's a real thing. Night in and night out. Let's say you're doing, you're a big band and you're doing 5 nights a week or 4 nights a week, and you're just stretching those vocal cords beyond what they're made to do. You have to be somewhat conditioned for that.
I mean, I can't smoke weed anymore. I can't drink
Oh
before
my gosh.
shows
Oh, man.
anymore.
Man, how you
But
getting if you can't smoke weed anymore, how you writing any good
Gummies,
songs?
bro.
cocaine.
Gummies, cocaine.
Got to graduate to the adult stuff.
we got the other stuff. So
But no, you have to be very, very meticulous with your voice if you actually want to do this for a career. And that's, I feel like if you're at the point that I'm and many others are at, like you have to make that change. If you it's not just drug, sex, and rock and roll anymore, man. Like you have to be on top of your game. Otherwise, what's the point? Why would you ask people to spend money with you?
And here's the thing: the marketplace is so competitive because making a record or making not a record, but making a song now is so much easier than it used to be. You used to have to go out and get a huge production, a huge music studio and spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And with
Oh, you mean what I'm doing right now?
well, no, but I mean, as your finalize, but you probably roughed all your stuff in at home with all of your. No, you guys don't rough it in, or do you guys go right to the studio?
So I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Writing with Killers is me. I don't actually have a band. It's kind of like Tobias Forge from Ghost.
Kind of like the T-shirt that you're wearing, Trent Reznor.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails. I mean,
one dude.
Funny enough, one of my guitars that I used because I'm in the middle of making the second record right now with Jacob Herman over in Gothenburg, Sweden. I've been going back and forth to Sweden and to New Orleans. The guitar that I used for most of the guitar tracking is actually a Gibson Trent Reznor prototype guitar that never got off the ground. He's one of my favorite musicians of all time. But no, man, I've been kind of doing it all by myself, and I mean not all by myself. Like obviously my producer Jacob's written with me, but like I pulled in Devin Clark from Cane Hill to do drums, and then James Laskew, previously of the band Wilson, to do bass. And live, if people aren't available, I have a pool of musicians that I can take because it's hard to get 3 to 4 dudes on the same page. Like, oh, can you take off work? Can you go do this? Can you go do that? And now,
not only that, but the creative process as well. Like if you write something, you got 3 other dudes that you got to try to sell that it's good, and they have their opinions, and they think this could go there and that. Whatever.
Yep.
I mean, but it's a very lost art in the fact of people doing it by themselves, is it not? I mean, and then hiring studio guys to do, the recording and potentially the touring. I mean, there's not a lot of that out there anymore, is there?
I mean, I mean, at the same time, the hired gun game is in full effect because you do have a lot of these solo artists that do have all these great songs inside of them, but again, depending on where you're located, who's around you, who's available, it gets kind of hard because, like you said, it's easier than it's ever been to record a song by yourself at home. So everyone's like, well, I'm going to be the main guy. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that, and I've just gotten to a point to where like. I do obviously listen to the musicians that I bring in with me, but that's what makes it so fun is that I don't just have a set group of guys that I'm working with. It allows me to, work with different people, expand the sound, and
now do you run a lot of your stuff through Dave just because he's such a great friend and he's so successful and he's very well rounded and he's seen probably a little bit more of the scene than you have. Yeah. He's probably seen a little more of the scene that you have. And so, do you lean on Dave, the lead drummer of Sponge and one of your best friends? Do you lean on him and say, "Hey Dave, give me your honest opinion. This sucked.
Always.
This good. What do I need to do here?"
Always. I mean, he's been one of my confidants, and he's one of the most trusted sources that I have. Because I mean, whenever I moved up here to be next to him, it was like he kind of gave me the keys to the kingdom to a degree, and he helped open me up to this whole new world. So anytime I have something, and it doesn't even have to be music related, if there's something important in my life happening Dave is one of the first phone calls that I go to.
Now, do you tour at all? I mean, have you? When's the last? And you know, and are you able to make a living on your music? Or
well, he's also in Taproot now.
Yeah.
Major band.
Taylor's in Taproot.
He was actually he was the drummer.
He is now the guitarist. Taylor is now the guitarist. His buddy Dave was the drummer.
Okay.
Oh, so you're in Taproot. So when you need some money, you just go tour with them, and then you go dabble with your writing with killer gimmicks as your solo Willie.
I make okay money with Taproot. It's definitely helped me pay the bills once or twice, but I mean, dude, I'm not a writing member of that band. I'm the hired gun. But that's not to say that they don't treat me incredibly, because they absolutely do. But I mean, as of right now, with my art, I'm making enough money to get the band on the road. Like, we are starting to tour. Like, we've got some good announcements coming up, and I mean, we've been touring out in Iowa, Illinois, Houston, Shreveport, Louisiana. I mean, we're going to be in Lansing this weekend with Saliva, Crowbot, Evans Blue. Then we're off to Wisconsin next month, all throughout there. And then I think we'll be out in San Francisco later in August. So, I mean, I'm getting the ability to go on the road and pay for that. But I mean, I own my own business. I own a commercial and residential painting business. That's why I sound so terrible right now. I was at work till 2 a.m. and up at 8 to be ready for this. So
then you got to go out and paint a house later today.
Oh yeah, I do actually. I gotta finish a house by tonight, and then start a 4,200 square foot house. So basically, my painting business allows me to go pursue the music thing and build it to where it does become the main source of income. But like, if Taproot was out on the road 6 months out of the year, yeah, I could be able to make a living comfortably. But those guys all have families and later in life things going on, so they're doing blocks, you know, like
Right.
3 to 5 dates at a time, take a month off, come back, do the festival circuit. So it's fun, you know, don't get me wrong, but like, they're not touring full time to where it's like, okay, I can make my living strictly off of this. But if we were touring that much, I mean, yeah, I could totally.
So we're gonna play the song. What is it? World Apart.
Yes, it's right there. Yep.
World Apart. We're going to play the song, and the way the format goes is we play the entire song, listen to it, you know, through all the years of us being on the radio and doing, you know, listening to new stuff, old stuff. We've been exposed to all types of different stuff. Every band that we've played so far has had a different feel. So, like, we don't, you know, if we're rock guys. Last week, what would you say, Brian? It was kind of more of an alternative ska feeling.
No, it was alternative rock with a little bit of jazz mixed in,
and we loved it. And we loved it because we didn't gauge it necessarily on our musical taste. We gauge it on how well it's produced. You know, so it's nothing to do with what we like per se. So, but be prepared. Like, if we don't like it, you know, we're going to tell you we don't like it.
Good, lay it on me, make me cry.
So, like, I mean, like, you know, I'd be like, Taylor, man, that sucked. I mean, you know, please don't be mad. But you know, dude, I'm just not feeling it, and here's why. We're just not going to tell you sucked, because we're going to we'll give you some constructive criticism. Oddly enough, you're our fourth guy. We did this years ago live. We bring this guys into the studio, and then they would play, and if they sucked, we would shoot them with air rifles and then you know and that didn't go too good, or it went good. It went good until it didn't, and so it's just easier to do it this way. So without further ado, I'm going to play yours. Now this is World Apart, right?
Yes.
And is this from an upcoming EP, or is this just a single?
So this is on our debut record, Full Circle, which is out right now.
Okay, which is
I like recording full albums. I don't subscribe to just doing singles.
So Full Circle consists of how many songs?
12.
12. Is this what would be your favorite, or this, if you had to release this, or the single, so to speak?
This actually is the current single that's on the radio right now.
Okay, cool. Writing. Do you get radio support?
Yeah, I've been working with Timothy Binder from New Ocean Media, and he's a believer, man. He likes the record, and man, it's not like I have tens of thousands of dollars to throw at radio, but he's one of those guys that, okay, you don't have a record label, you don't have rich parents, you don't have rich friends, but I believe in you, and he's been getting us out there to the world. So.
All right, fantastic. We're going to listen to it. It's 3 minutes and 16 seconds long. It's Taylor Roberts. He is all of Riding with Killers, and when they tour, he gets either studio musicians or his friends to be the other musicians. But for the most part, it's him. He's like a Trent Reznor kind of deal, where it's all him. Now, did you play for the album? Did you bring in musicians for the album, or did you play every piece for the album?
So I had Dave Coughlin do all the drums. Tim Krukowski, formerly of Sponge, did about 40% of the record, and then James Laskew did about 60% of the record on bass. I do all of the guitars, lead, rhythm, and then all the vocals.
And probably regular vocals and backing. So, okay. All right.
Sure.
So here we go. Riding with Killers, which is Taylor Roberts' solo project with others. And this is the single World Apart. I got to tell you.
I wish I could say something bad, but I can't.
I mean,
This is way better than Heil Hitler.
We just played. We just played Kanye's new song "Heil Hitler." I don't know if that's going to do too well or not. But Lummy, every one of these bands we've had, I'm waiting for one to really suck.
Yeah,
and
no kidding.
we can't find suck.
I was ready to tell you to put down your Fender and pick up that Wagner.
But I mean, like it's like
all Gibson all the time. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
I have a signed BB King Lucille.
I saw him on his 80th birthday when I was like 11 years old at the Gulf Coast Coliseum. It was one of the best shows I've ever been to.
Bubba has guitar Tourette's and just wanted you to know that.
No, listen. Hold on, Brian, you little hating son of a bitch. If you're a lead guitarist and a Lucille, I think a Gibson Lucille is like, what are they, $3,000, $4,000 just for the guitar? Yeah. And so I have a BB King signed Lucille. So Brian, obviously you're just a twink ass little puss. You don't know anything about musicians, and this guy knows. Having a Gibson Lucille is really kind of a big thing.
Yeah, well, I have an autographed Junior Caminero out of '99. You don't hear me bragging every time a guest comes on.
I think maybe Taylor has a Lucille. Do you have a Lucille?
It's close, but this is a Trent Reznor Gibson 335 prototype that never actually made. Like I'm a Gibson artist. I've been endorsed with them for 3 years now. But getting that's about the closest thing I got to a Lucille, but it's a Trent Reznor, so
that's pretty awesome.
Now, can I tell you what else I have, which might be, and I'm thinking about selling it, Lummy, and I have
really?
Reggie White's pants.
No. We're going to have to break the song down here momentarily. But first of all, let's before we compare what we have, let's break this down. First of all, here are my notes. Great lyrics. Mm-hmm. Really good instrumentals, like the backing musician, especially Dave. You can just hear Dave's talent. You can just tell. You can tell that, man, the drummer is a step ahead. He is good.
Yep.
Was that lead guitar you?
Yes, all the guitars are me.
Great. And I think that the vocals aren't the weakest part of the song, but I can see where you will continue to get better with vocals. I mean, the vocals are good. I mean, the vocals are not bad. I have nothing to say bad about them, but I can tell that you're somewhat of a new vocalist, and it will continue to get better the more that you do it.
I like the lyrics too.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
good.
Bubba's life. Yeah. You know,
well,
burn all your
bridges, all your enemies coming after you. Yeah. Where will you go when your world falls apart? You know.
Well, and the cool thing about that hook is, and I'm sure you've noticed, there's a different voice on there. That's actually Paul McCoy from the band 12 Stones, and if you remember the Evanescence song "Bring Me to Life," the "Wake Me Up" guy, that's Paul on the song. So basically, I had written all the verses, and the bridge. I had all the lyrics, but I could not figure out the chorus for the life of me. I was really upset when I wrote the song. It's about some really awful people in my past, and I called up Paul, and I was like, "Hey, man," and we've been talking about, because we're from the same area. 12 Stones is very close to Gulfport, Mississippi, from where they originated and were playing. And then Paul and I got to become friends over the years, and we always talked about working together. And then finally I was like, "Hey, I got a song. Do you want to help me finish it?" And then he wrote the hook, and then it became what it was. So I got the assist on that one.
If you could give us make sure you whitelist this so we don't get an infringement when we play it. I want to play this on the show. I love your stuff. When you got new stuff, when you got new stuff, let us have it. Lummy, man, every band we've had so far kicks ass. I think I like this one the best so far.
Number one so far?
I really do.
Nice.
And Taylor, I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're busting your ass as a painter. You're grinding every day. You're not getting a handout. You don't have a silver spoon. You're doing it. And man, I got to tell you, I think you're onto something here. I think you really, really have a really good sound and a great situation ahead.
Thank you so much, man. That's hearing stuff like that, because when you're in the thick of it, you're like, is this still worth my time? Do I keep going? And I can't stop, man. You know what I mean? But
I've been doing rock radio for 40 years. I've been doing radio for 40 years and have heard the best of the best and some real crappy stuff. And this is good. Like I can tell you that, from my experience, this is good. Oh, I have a complete back amp. Well, I mean, what is it? We got I got a Dimebag Darrell. I got a whole Dimebag Darrell back end, like amps.
The crank.
Yeah,
the crank. I remember those.
Well, remember Dean did a Dimebag Darrell series after he died.
Yes.
After he died, not a guitar of like all the back amps and all the.
Yeah, I remember that. It was all blacked out and stealth out, correct?
Yeah.
It said Dime on it and all black.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I got a whole set of that.
Yeah,
no kidding.
Yeah.
I got Engelbert Humperdinck's mic stand.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Okay.
I've actually worked for that guy. I'm not even
For
kidding
real.
you. So when I was in Biloxi, and see, that's the bands that you could get when you came to Biloxi.
Engelbert Humperdinck.
You'll get Engelbert Humperdinck, but such a nice guy. Like I ended up working for him.
What was his big hit? After the Lovin'?
After the Lovin'.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. I worked for him at the Imperial Palace in Biloxi because I was doing backline work. So if I wasn't on stage or working at the music shop, Pinkston's Music, God rest Jim's soul, I was trying to do backline gig. I was always trying to be around music.
Guitar teching, backline, just anything to be involved in the business. Hey, listen, bud, keep in touch with us. Keep us up to date on what you're doing, your new stuff. Consider us friend, not foe, and we wish you the very best, my friend, and good luck to you.
Bubba, thank you so much for having me, man. This was worth getting like 3 hours of sleep and waking up for. So thank you so much.
Do that line of cocaine, and you'll be painting that. You'll paint that house by noon today, buddy.
That gets here tomorrow, so I gotta wait.
All right, my man. Taylor Roberts, riding with Killers. Taylor, we will keep in touch, my friend.
Sounds good, brother.
Bye, bye,
Good, guys.
Thank you.